The White Sox are going to sign Paul Skeens in 2030. We'll talk about it. CHGO White Sox post-game show presented by Bet365. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Welcome into Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, being produced today by Joey Christopoulos after a 4-2 White Sox winner. They have won 5 of their last 7. You may be asking, hey, why are you so damn excited about a team that is 19 games under 500? First of all, I don't know if you watched the White Sox last year, so we're at least just kind of taking the temperature off of that. But if you take out their terrible start in April, this team is looking pretty decent. They started 7-23. And since then, Joey, we're going to do some math on the fly. 23 minus 7. All right, that's 16. And then 44 minus 23, that's 21. 16-21. I don't think we've been that good at baseball since like 2023. Dylan asks, are we having fun yet? I am having a lot of fun. To the point where I'm kind of like, Shane Smith should be the biggest headline every single night. And I forget about him. Positively. I mean, Grant Taylor we're going to talk about. Luis Robert Jr. finally broke his slump. We'll also talk about a ton of minor league stuff. There was a back-to-back-to-back homer performance in Winston-Salem. George Wolko has been fantastic in June. There was a huge night for Brooks Baldwin in Charlotte. And then we'll talk about with Grant Taylor's promotion, 8 White Sox have made their major league debuts this year. Will Colson Montgomery be the 9th? Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Kevin saying it's great to be here for the first time in a while. These young guys are fun to watch. Absolutely. A lot of people are talking about how fun Chase Meitroth is. We'll talk about Chase in a second. I was happy with him. Over at Bet365, we had some boosted same-game parlays. Part of the parlay was Meitroth to walk. So I was very pleased with Chase as he drew 2 walks today. But even before today, Just Baseball put together his fantastic run so far. Meitroth, 299 average, 383 OBP, 2 homers, 8 stolen bases, 1.4 FWAR, 21 walks, 21 Ks. Now I think that's 23 walks to 21 Ks. He's the first White Sox player to have 46 plus hits and 8 plus stolen bases in his first 43 career games since 1926. So, go back to Shoeless Joe Jackson. That's the last time, even before or after Shoeless Joe Jackson, a little bit after.
It's a long time ago, Sean.
To find a very long time ago. Joey, if my math is correct, 2025 minus 1926, it's about 99 years. I'd estimate 99.
99, you're right.
Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Sox win 4-2. Let's go through the game recap again. We're going to talk about the game. We'll talk about Grant Taylor, Luis Robert Jr., and then we'll get into the minor leagues. Let's get into the top of the first. Sox had 2 hard balls in play against McCullers and a 3-2 count, but no damage was done. In the bottom of the first, Shane Smith, the first 2 batters got out, but then Altuve had an infield single. Vargas misjudged the bounce and spin of the ball. He thought that it was possible that it would hit the grass and then go foul. It didn't. Infield single for Altuve, but Shane Smith gets Diaz to fly out. He pitches around the infield single. Top of the second, McCullers makes a mistake. Kyle Teal isn't afraid. We've seen this guy take some pretty healthy hacks, take a walk or 2. He walks with 2 outs. And that sets up Luis Robert Jr., who goes the other way with a laser of a double. A great job by Robert. Makes the game 1-0. Gives Shane Smith a rare lead. He's typically not pitching with the lead. Who doesn't love a 1-0 lead? Shane Smith in the bottom of the second walks Christian Walker, but then induces a double play. Sox will turn 3 double plays tonight to the point where people are asking, Are the Sox turning the most double plays in Major League Baseball? I think over the past 2 games, they've turned 8. I would be tough to find another team that has turned 8 in the past 2 games. So over the past 2 games, your mind does not deceive you. Sox have turned a ton of double plays. I think they're 12th in Major League Baseball in total double plays turned, which speaks to their pitching being able to get the ground balls. And also, Maidraw's been a really good shortstop defender. Rojas is decent at second base. One of the biggest downsides of Lenyn Sosa is his inability to play second base. So no longer you have somebody that cannot play there, playing there. It's nice to see. And Vargas has been good at third base, but Sox turned 3 double plays tonight, 1 in the bottom of the second. Then at the top of the third, Tauchman, a 1-out double, a Maidroth walk, a Benny walk, bases loaded. Vargas flies out, but then your second favorite player, just behind Chase Maidroth, Edgar Caro, a 2-run single, 3-0 lead for the Sox. Shane Smith pitching with confidence, led off the inning with a Cam Smith strikeout, then had a nasty strikeout versus Melton. Then Pena hit a double, but Smith could not. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a leadoff. I swear to God, that's a K. But then Smith doesn't score. What did I do here? Oh, well. I guess Smith leadoff single, then a nasty K versus Melton, then a Pena double. Smith doesn't score, which I found interesting because I remember that ball goes into left field, and I thought they didn't run on Benny because Smith's like a 21-year-old. You'd think he'd be able to run on Benny, especially all the way at the Crawford box. He doesn't, though, but then Paredes RBI sac fly. That's the Astros' first run. An Altuve walk, then loads the bases with Pena. Pena's at second. Then Altuve just makes it first and second. Then Diaz pops out. So Smith able to avoid the clutter on the bases. Top of the fourth, Lance McCullers pitching to Luis Robert Jr. Robert did really well the first time he saw McCullers, and it was McCullers coming off of Tommy John. So I thought that was possibly the reason why Robert had so much success. I think he had 2 hits and 2 walks in that game against McCullers earlier on in the year. I think it's just Luis Robert Jr. likes seeing Lance McCullers, the laser of a double to right field, and then he hits a skyrocketing home run in the top of the fourth, making it 4-1 Sox. That's Luis Robert Jr.'s first home run since May 2nd. I know that some people are saying, hey, that's only a home run in 4 of 30 ballparks. Hasn't hit a home run in over a month. I think the last person that's complaining is Luis Robert Jr. I think Luis Robert Jr. says, thank God I finally caught a break. I think Luis Robert Jr. is going to go kiss every seat in the Crawford box tonight, thanking them for the ability to hit a home run. He just needed to break through because we've seen the steals. We've seen the defense. We'll see the defense in the bottom of the 8th tonight as well. It's just been, the hitting's been so inconsistent. But even then, there's signs that the hitting can take a turn to even better than we've seen before. He's walking more than ever. I think his patience is a little bit more, to the point where I'm just more questioning if he's had his eyesight checked in the past couple of years. Can he actually see the spin of the ball? Do we need to see Luis Robert Jr. get some contact?
Well, is it fair too? It's like the old school Major League Baseball cliche of once you start hitting the ball the other way hard, good things start to happen. And he's done that a couple times the last 3 or 4 days.
And bam. And finally pulls one to the moon, gets a home run for the Sox, 4-1 lead. Bottom of the fourth, Shane Smith. Astros saw him decently. Again, there were some decent balls that were hit in play against Shane Smith that, he got some decent amount of luck. They see him well. Myers and Caratini hit singles, but then Cam Smith grounded into another double play. Top of the fifth, Lance McCullers, a Maidroth leadoff single, but no damage is done. But McCullers is done after that at the top of the fifth. 96 pitches. Sox worked him. And I think there was a stat from CHSN. Sox are a little bit above midway at most pitches against a starter. But I think since May, they are top 3. So they've done a really good job of working starters. McCullers out by the fifth, and this is a guy that I think in his past 2 starts had 19 strikeouts. He finally started to feel it, and the White Sox throw that wrench in there. So great job by the Sox today to at least work McCullers and score 4 runs off of him. Bottom of the fifth, Shane Smith. Paredes hits a ball to the moon. You'd think the camera shot was going to go up inside of the train to show this ball landing on the track.
Too high, Sean.
It was too high.
Too high.
It was actually too high. It's short of a 2-run homer. No damage is done. Shane Smith at 78 pitches after 5. Score is still 4-1. Top of the 6th, we get to see White Sox legend Bennett Sousa. He gets 2 Ks against the Sox. Bottom of the 6th, another double play, the third tonight. Shane Smith is done after 6 innings. Another great job for Shane Smith, to the point where I'm really just taking it for granted. I know that he has been the Rule 5 story, that the White Sox have done a fantastic job of identifying the talent, identifying the ability that he might be able to learn this nasty changeup. And now we're at a point where he's not even using his changeup. Today he uses his four-seam fastball, his curveball, and slider more. He doesn't even use the demonic 92-mile-per-hour changeup a ton today. Not a ton of strikeouts, only 4 strikeouts for him, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 89 pitches. His season ERA is 2.37. I think he is going to be the all-star for this team. I think it's just so similar to what Crochet did. Not to the dominance of Crochet, because Crochet would go out there and strike out 10 every single night. But I've really just been impressed with Smith's maturation. The fact that this curveball is now turned into a new weapon. And now you have 3 pitches that are truly like demonic-ish. A nasty four-seam fastball that he just loves to throw. His velocity has been up as well. I think last week it was like a 1.8 mile per hour jump. Today it's a 1.1 mile per hour jump. His average four-seam fastball velocity today, 96.2 miles per hour. Yearly average, 95.1. So you are seeing a little bit of a jump in his velocity. But I just love the true ability to, rely on anything. He can throw the curveball, changeup, slider, four-seam fastball whenever he wants. Called strike plus whiff percentage today at 24%. So again, not a dominant game. 7 hits, 4 Ks for Shane Smith, but he goes 6 innings and does what you want from a starter. They gave him an extra day. They pushed his start from Sunday to Tuesday. And you got exactly what you wanted from Shane Smith. He looked rejuvenated, was, again, touching 97 for the most part. I think it was just a fantastic start from Shane Smith. Really, again, I'm taking him for granted. Sox have done a phenomenal job of finding and molding this young man. And the one reason I am taking him for granted, he's a Rule 5 pick. They're leaving him on the major league roster no matter what. I mean, even if he starts to fall off as a starter, they're just going to move him to the pen. And that's going to be his role for the rest of the year unless he gets injured. Their entire plan with Shane Smith is to gain control, gain options, gain the ability to go into arbitration and pre-arb with him. They want to be able to control his service time for the next 6 years, and they just need to do that by keeping him on the roster for the entirety of 2023. And Joey, just to check in, you are our producer. You know a lot about the White Sox. Is Shane Smith at any danger of losing his roster spot?
Not at this particular time, Sean. Back
Perfect.
to you.
I mean, he could be now. I think honestly, for he's pitched like 12 games or something like that.
What was so impressive about him tonight is that he's had a little trouble with the big inning at times in games, and you saw he had, I think, runners on first and second. He was able to get out of it. He minimized the damage in that one inning and was able to cook. And as you mentioned, that fastball the last couple of starts, he has so much confidence with that right now. I'm not saying that's going to play out all season long, but if you have confidence with the fastball, it will help out with confidence with secondary pitches moving forward. So I don't know. Everything continues we keep waiting for him to turn into a pumpkin, but Shane Smith is for real.
I know. I mean, that's the thing is, I don't even think he's going to turn into a pumpkin.
Nope.
Like you just see the maturation again of what he's been showing. It's been insane. John Hosey, best Rule 5 pick ever. It's only 13 starts, so we got to see what the next 17 appearances look like.
There was a guy
Shane
on the
Smith.
north side that was pretty good too the last couple of years. Kyle Hendricks was a Rule 5 pick, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we gotta slow the roll here, at least in Chicago on that.
I don't know, man. I mean, doesn't Kyle Hendrick barely hit 90? Shane Smith throws 97.
He finished third in
His
Cy Young.
changeup's 92 miles per hour.
Third in Cy Young in 2016 is tough.
Yeah, no, absolutely insane. Then let's just get through the end of the game quickly because we're going to go deep into Grant Taylor. Top of the 7th, Bennett Sousa walks Tim Elko, and then Elko on a pickoff attempt steals second base. So you're seeing the ability to walk. You're seeing the ability to play defense. You're seeing the power. You're seeing the speed from Tim Elko.
The elk was out of the barn.
No damage. And hey, you can't stop an elk at full speed. No damage done at the top of the 7th, though. Bottom of the 7th, Grant Taylor makes his major league debut, protecting a 4-1 Sox lead. We'll go into it, but 1, 2, 3, electric from Grant Taylor. Boogie, oogie, woogie. Top of the 8th, Dubin in to pitch for the Astros. Teal walked, and then Robert Cade. That was the end of the inning there for the Sox. No other insurance runs for your White Sox. Then in the bottom of the 8th, stomach starts to turn. Feeling a little sick.
The bullpen.
Steven Wilson comes in, Pena gets a single. Paredes walks. Altuve walks. Bases loaded. No outs. Diaz hits a sac fly, making it 4-2. Walker Cade. Great, beautiful sweeper by Steven Wilson to get the strikeout. And then a bloop single, or a bloop into center field. Robert is very deep against Myers, and you just think that this ball is going to drop. Robert's going to make the effort, and it's going to hit the heel of his ball, and it's going to pop out, and this game is going to be tied. Robert, with the 3 RBIs, with the double, the home run, adds on to his beautiful night. A highlight-filled night for Robert. Beautiful sliding catch, pretty much secures the lead for the Sox. Isert comes in the 9th and ices the game. 1-2-3. The Iceman, I believe, as John Triffin lovingly calls him, gets the save. Sox are 23-44, have won 5 of their last 7. Yes. Let's hit an ad break, and we'll talk about Grant Taylor here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. It's a place where all kinds of visitors can explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality cannabis products. It's a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs, and Sunnyside is here to elevate your summer. They're Illinois' favorite dispensary for a reason. They have locations all across this beautiful state. If you're in the city, you can visit them in Wrigleyville, River North, or Elmwood Park. If you're in the south part of Illinois, you can visit them in Champaign, or if you're up north, you can visit them in South Beloit. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO for 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders, and for existing users, use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Lab branded item. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Four Seasons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. 866 Four Seasons. Now is the time to get your air conditioning checked out, and Four Seasons experts are ready to help you with AC installation, maintenance, and repair. 2024 was officially Chicago's hottest year on record. It reached 114 on the heat index at O'Hare. Before it's 100 plus on the heat index, have your AC tuned up and checked out by the professionals over at Four Seasons. Schedule your Four Seasons AC tune-up today and save $50 and enjoy a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. You gotta love a guarantee like that. Call 866 Four Seasons. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. Back here on the CHGO White Sox post-game show presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. We'll talk about Grant Taylor as a starter and his future in just a second, but Joey Christopoulos has a question.
Oh, no, I just wanted to make...
Well, no. While we went into the ad break, you're like, oh, I got something for you.
In this whole first segment, we literally just talked about the White Sox defense turning double plays. We talked about our former, maybe can still turn into star center fielder, not only hitting a home run, but making a diving catch. We're talking about an ace pitcher right now who has an ERA sub 2.5. Where you're about to talk about another Chicago White Sox prospect getting called up. They've won 5 of their last 7 games, all within the last week. They are now on CHSN for Comcast. The team possibly is going to be sold
on that one.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying,
care about that.
This is a lot of news.
Now OTA's gone for me.
This is a lot of news, and just when you're running it down like this, like detail by detail, this was such a quality baseball win on so many different levels, and I just think it's something refreshing and something that White Sox fans haven't seen a ton of lately, and it was just really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I could not tell you their last 16 and 21 stretch. I'll have to look up their what's 16 plus 21, 37. I cannot tell you their last time they were 5 games under 500.
It had to be the 81-81 La Russa team because they were always kind of hanging around there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been real. It's just been much more competitive. And last year, Vinny said it, I think at some point in September, it's just like you want to come into work thinking they'll have a chance. And last year, it was just like, all right, well, what are we going to talk about when they inevitably lose? Because we can't talk about the game too much because nobody cares about the game because everybody knows that they're going to lose. We talked about people getting traded. That was the entire show because that was all we could talk about is what are they going to do to fix all this? I think Goop like Soup's right. You gotta be a little bit careful there, Joey. It sounds like hope, but it is just refreshing to see this team put out great efforts. And the one guy that's been slagging behind is Luis Robert Jr., like completely slagging behind. And who's here to save them and bring them to the victory? It's Luis Robert Jr. with the 3 RBIs. So I think that this has just been what White Sox fans needed, was just not total BS. You just didn't want to look at a bag of crap. Like every single night, your neighbors are coming over and lighting a bag of crap on your door. And you have gotten a week of peace of no ding-dong ditchings and garbage, flaming bags of crap on your door because you finally called the snotty kid's dad.
It's that poop
this
again.
This is also just this is just real close to my heart. I'm dealing with a bunch of rascals in my community.
Wait, you're dealing with bags of poop in your neighborhood?
Don't want to talk about it.
All right, that's
absolutely.
That's an overtime.
Yeah,
that's an overtime topic.
Hit that thumbs up button. We got 57 people hanging out in here. We got 11 likes. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel as well. We'll talk about Grant Taylor in just a second. Edward saying the over of 53 season wins is looking good. I agree with you there, Edward. Scroll up just a little bit though, Joey, because we can't get too ahead of our skis. I think they're going to clear the over of 53. Fangraphs was just projecting, I think, 59 wins. You got Michael Leroy in here saying 70 games. I don't know if they're going to win 70 games. I think even Michael up there said 65. 65 is definitely pushing it. If they have 105 losses, I think that is a major 105 or less, major win for Getz, Venable, Bannister, Fuller, the entire White Sox organization to go from 121 to 105. That would be a huge, massive win for them.
Well, and on top of that too, as well, is look, you're not going to like this. I'm going to take the smallest victory lap possible because when we first started the season, like over a month ago, I said that if this season is about a better general product in the field back to sanity, and I misconstrued the timelines. I said if we called somebody up like one every 6 weeks and gave us someone watchable throughout the season, I think the season could be a win and we could see some progress. The fact that we are seeing some results on the field right now and we keep calling players up that could possibly become pieces of the future, there's a combo factor there that, yeah, forgive me, like I'm not saying they're going to win 70 games. This is not about wins this year. It's about graduating some kids, keeping them up in the big leagues, and getting the product back to sanity, and we're seeing it right now, and that's what has me excited. I'm not excited for the playoffs. I'm excited that White Sox fans who know baseball can actually watch baseball again.
I think the biggest thing that you're seeing from the Sox is, them being realistic. They want the best players in their organization being up, and I think that's what they've signaled from Taylor, Teal, Caro, and Mydroth being up here. They didn't want to watch what they saw last year. So the fact that they knew that they had more talented players than Tice and Lee, Amaya, can you think of his name, etc., like they just stopped wasting our time. And I appreciate that. Again, going 7-23 in April, 16-21. I don't even know if it's the Ishbia effect. I think it's just more the Sox are being realistic, is let's put the people out there with talent. And I think the biggest win overall for the Sox, with 8 players making their debut, I think Colson will be 9 soon, probably before July. I think they trust Will Venable. I think the biggest thing that this shows is, even with the difficult situation of balancing Kilo, is that the new nickname for Caro and Teal? Kilo?
Kilo? I don't know. Print the shirts. I'm kind of into it.
We got Kilo. The interesting balance there of Kilo with the catchers is, just making sure that they're both being developed. And you saw the homestand that Teal first played in. He catches 2 games. Caro catches 1 game and doesn't even DH. Like, Teal catches twice and DHs. So that's the one thing that you're just worrying is, like, will they be able to fully balance this? But I think that they just trust Will Venable. Teal catches today, so that's 3 of his first 4 games that he catches. Caro DHs for the first time. You think that Caro would be the DH tomorrow, and maybe Teal gets his first day off tomorrow. But yeah, I think that, Travis says it right there. He's happy the White Sox are winning, and I think you actually can see the hope being built up because there is Mydroth, Vargas, Caro, Teal, Elko in a way contributing. Smith, Taylor tonight contributing, there are enough young players to say, hey, we may have something here. And there's enough enforcements in the minor leagues to be like, hey, this could be something. And if the Justin Ishbia effect is real, Paul Skeens is a White Sox in 2030. 2030. Let's get to that, maybe. Maybe I should stop wasting your people's time. Grant Taylor makes his major league debut. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. We have been putting out these mini pods with our friends over at Rate, and we have the King joining Mark Carmen and I to talk about that week's White Sox topic. And we talked about Miguel Vargas last week, but then the King, who is friends with Jared Reinsdorf, brought up that he's really interested in a minor league pitcher that the Sox have that is now going to be their closer. And I thought he was talking about somebody in Charlotte. And that's what Carmen thought he was, leading on to. And he said his name was Tyler Grant. And I was like, oh, yeah. And my brain was figuring out, like, who the hell is he talking about? And I was like, you mean Grant Taylor. And I just didn't think that meant that because the King knew about him, that, like, they were actually seriously talking about him being a major leaguer this year. I was shocked. Probably more shocked that Taylor's up than Teal's up. I was still kind of flabbergasted by Teal because I just didn't think that they would be able to balance the two of Caro and Teal, and I'm still questioning it, but you just kind of have faith in the organization at this point. But Taylor, even though his 33 batters faced in his time in the bullpen in Birmingham were dominant. I think he had one ball in play, 18 strikeouts, 1 walk. Absurd numbers. Just blew through Double-A hitting. I just thought that they would want to make sure that when they show him off to the major leagues, he would be at his peak value already, that they would be throwing him out there at major league levels when he's a starter and when he's fully fleshed out. And Bannister basically told Matt Spiegel and Lawrence Holmes that, with an arm like this, you can't deny the talent. And with his, multiple injuries and long road to this point, he is a true talent, but he doesn't have a huge resume. It's more about just building up the pitcher. When you look at the stuff, there's no denying that this is a major leaguer. Joey, do we have any of the flashing, fun Grant Taylor graphics? Because we're going to do that. We'll have people like the video. That's all great and fine. But let's go to this. This is from spring training, and at TJ Stats put out Taylor's look from today. But the two things I want to point out to you are the arm angle at 58 degrees. Only 6 other major league righties have that steep of an arm angle. So he's extremely unique in that way. He's 6'3", but he gets a ton of extension. It's 7.3 there listed by TJ Stats. And that is, an entire foot of his body that he's able to overextend. So with this insane extension, with this insane arm angle, and the ability to throw 101 7 out of your 12 pitches in your major league debut, the word to properly describe Grant Taylor is demon. This man is a major leaguer to the point where you just see so many of these type of guys that once they figure it out, they are unstoppable. And it's to the point where Taylor needs to just build up as a actual person. He's 23 years old. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. And that, I think, is when he'll start making that jump. Chris Sale made 79 appearances out of the bullpen before his first major league start, around 94 and a third innings pitched. And I think Taylor's going to be on a similar path. They want this guy over the next 2 years to stay healthy and be pitching at the major league level. They don't care if that's out of the bullpen, because if he does get to the starting rotation and is able to give you 5 innings, watch out. There were questions if he had a better arsenal, because he was college teammates with Paul Skeens at LSU, if he had a better arsenal than Skeens. The only reason I'm on this kind of whack job Paul Skeens is a White Sox in 2030 is because Connor McKnight said that Taylor got a text, and who he was responding to in the bullpen was Paul Skeens being like, hey, good luck. You're about to go out there, wishing the best for you. They're good friends. now I just want to see who is better. Like, could you just imagine 2030 when Skeens is 28 and Taylor's around 28 and they're both like fully fleshed out as true athletes? You hope that Skeens isn't on like a Steven Strasburg level deterioration, but even then, like Strasburg was fantastic in 2019. Like, I really do wonder who's going to be better come age 28 because Taylor's stuff is sickening. Go to that graphic one more time, Joey. You talked about his curveball and how you thought it was a changeup or one pitch that was going in a different direction. You see that bunch of dots that are blue, green, and red. They all are going vertically pretty much.
It's a dive.
So, and that's really it. I mean, I called his curveball, one of his curveballs, his last curveballs in Birmingham, roller coaster drop. Yeah, like it is the first drop of Raging Bull that I have been so terrified to never ride Raging Bull.
And it's not 12-6 necessarily. There's like a spin to it that like is literally like a demon drop.
Oh, it's absurd. OJ's glove having a question that we will answer in a second. We got to take a break here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. We'll talk about Taylor more after the break. I am being delusional as well. I'm just excited for the kid because he is a major league pitcher with major league stuff. We'll just figure out his potential or talk about it after the break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. 588-2300 Empire. You know that jingle, but do you know that when you need floors installed in your home, you need the experts over at Empire? You can go to a big box store and see their massive selection, but it's not curated for your needs. You won't have a professional by your side helping you pick out the right floors for your home. They can bring the samples to your home as well. Who doesn't like being comfy and cozy in your home? And once you pick the right floors for your need, for your home, the professionals at Empire can have professionals install it. So you're not waiting on a buddy to do it over a weekend, and maybe that turns into a couple of weekends because he's not reliable. The experts over at Empire are. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 off discount when using promo code CHGO. A $350 off discount with promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. And we want to let you know about our friends over at the HOF Bets app. It is the midst of the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Over 90 games in those respective leagues have been played. HOF has built up a ton of data, stats, and information that you need to take your parlay bets from just lotto tickets to smart bets. HOF has the insides that the books have, and now it is in an app for you to access. Our listeners get a 7-day free trial and 50% off their first month. Just download the HOF app or visit HOFbets.com and use code CHGO at checkout. Again, for a limited time, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but 50% off the first month when they use code CHGO at checkout. Download the HOF app on iOS and Android. Visit HOFbets.com. Back here on the CHGO White Sox post-game show. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. We got 20 likes and 62 viewers. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us in the chat as well. Ivan saying White Sox, Randy saying Shane Smith, All-Star, and then going back to the Taylor Skeens discussion, you have OJ's Glove asking, does Grant have Skeens potential? Goop Like Soup saying, I'm going to say Taylor because I'm biased, and Dylan also throwing out Taylor was the Friday night guy at LSU even after Skeens transferred in. Then Grant goes down with TJ and Skeens becomes Skeens. That's the one thing with Skeens. Maybe it is the Air Force background, but he is just a different level. I mean, he looks like a 30-year-old man. He looks just so filled out in his massive 6'5" frame, chucking 102 and 95 mile per hour splinkers. Grant is much more lean. Grant still has a lot more filling out to do. And I don't know if Grant has just had that same conditioning and level of workout that Skeens has had. But I feel like he's Zach Wheeler-ish. If I could give a comp, maybe not in that similar stuff. If you want me to go even like absurd as well, I feel Wheeler's pretty absurd. But like he didn't hit his peak right away. Like he was in that Harvey DeGrom rotation with the Mets, Thor as well. And I feel like Wheeler was always the last one thought of. And now you see Wheeler is like the 10th pitcher in
only one standing
Phillies history with like 1,000 strikeouts, like absurd stuff. He needed a lot of maturation to get to that point. And I feel like Taylor's going to be a similar project. Like he has DeGrom level stuff that's just unhittable. Maybe not that nasty changeup that DeGrom has, but it's just so disgusting from this arm angle, the flatness of his four-seam fastball. If he's able to find the zone, that breaking stuff is so sharp. And then you also have the 95-mile-per-hour cutter that plays off of it. He's just a demon out there. Here are the pitches, just 1 through 12. 101-mile-per-hour ball, because he just wanted to throw it as fast as he could, I think. Pitch number 2, a 95-mile-per-hour cutoff. Then pitch number 3, a 101-mile-per-hour fastball that was fouled off. Pitch 4, another 101-mile-per-hour fastball that was fouled off. Then pitch 5, an 88-mile-per-hour slider that bounced 15 feet in front of the plate. You knew that he was like, I'm getting my first strikeout. And he overthrew that ball insanely, but then comes back with, he throws 88. Just let's crank it back up to 101, gets Carantini to fly out. Pitch 7, get me over slider at 89 for a called strike. 85 is kind of the sweet spot of just like, if you throw a slider over 85, it doesn't really matter what the movement profile is. This is 4 miles per hour over that kind of boundary, and it's got demonic movement. So that's a called strike. And then a 100-mile-per-hour pitch that's grounded out by Cam Smith. Another 87-mile-per-hour slider to get a called strike and start 0-1 versus Melton. 100 and 101 fouled off, and then another 87-mile-per-hour slider to get the ground out. 12 pitches, 3 batters, 3 outs. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Sam Roberts throwing in. Skeens is big, but Taylor has that anime power windup release, which is good and bad. Like, I mean, Skeens is just, you think it's more natural. Not saying that, that breaking. Paul Skeens taking PEDs. But it seems like just he's a horse, right? In that similar vein that I thought Kopech was, that I thought that he's just built so solidly like starters are. Taylor, you do have worries about maybe pushing the frame a bit too much. Like, how much can you be extending a foot over your actual body length with a 58-degree arm angle, throwing 101, and with max spin? Like, Glasnow has a very similar arm angle, and we've seen how fragile he's been, and he's like 6'7". So I just have worries about Taylor's ability to stay healthy, and I think that's why the Sox are like, let's just take small, tiny bites and make sure that we are growing this person to the point that when it comes his 2 years left of service, if we have to make that decision to get rid of him, we can. I just bring that up because, again, I thought it was early for them to call up Taylor. And there's this quote from James Fegan at SoxMachine.com from Brian Bannister. If we can't hang on to the premium players forever, like Cease and Crochet, then we have to be better, like certain other organizations, at developing faster, getting the most out of our guys faster, and turning it over and really putting a quality product on the field that keeps us up with other more modernized organizations. I think it's tough to deny the talent of Taylor, and if they could show for 3 years until he's 26, like, hey, this is a guy that has major league ready stuff, and you can take him for 2 hitters that have 6 years of control. Like, I think that could be the ultimate end goal for Taylor, just because there are so many red flags, but also like the potential, I think, is enough to invest in that. I mean, I'm a stupid moron. I'd give Grant Taylor 9 years right now. Hey kid, you want $100 million? Great. We want to pitch for us for the next 9 years? Awesome. You'll be working for us until you're 32.
Well, and that's the thing, is that we're not like dousing water on all the feel-good vibes from today's episode. The White Sox have won 5 out of their last 7. Yes, but you are bringing up a really good point that, one, in Major League Baseball, one of the great lessons for a general manager is that the return for a high-leverage reliever in late July for a team that's going for it is disproportionate, and you can get back all sorts of different. I'm not saying it's happening.
Not
this
even
year.
that. No, but I'm just saying, like I think the idea is you're selling the project, right? Like, we have put in all of this time to rehab this moldy, termite-infested house, and now we're, cleaning up your swampy pool and unveiling the beautiful dolphin tile mosaic motif that's been buried under there, right? We're just giving it a refresh so that you take on this project as your forever home, right? You're trying to build somebody a forever starting pitcher, I think, in Grant Taylor, at no risk of starting him at the major league level and just taking it piece by piece. Like, I think that could also be an end goal. One side of me is saying sign Skeens in 2030. The other is saying by, 2028, Taylor's gone.
It's also, now this is a very short-term view of it, but it isn't also the worst philosophy or reputation to have that the White Sox bring their kids up and they play them.
Yeah, which they've done. Again,
right?
They've absolutely done that this year, and I think Montgomery's next. Just real quick, I do want to talk about Robert real quick.
You mean Colson Montgomery, not Braden Montgomery, because I almost jumped out of my skin.
Oh, my bad. Did I say Braden?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a fun one. I mean, we think Colson is next. So I'm going to go with 10.5 over-under. We are at 8 prospect call-ups right now. Over-under 10.5, top 20.
Prospect or debuts?
Top 20.
Is it debuts, though?
Yes, debuts.
Of top 20 players?
Yeah, of top 20 prospects.
So I just only think that it's going to be Colson.
Yeah, you think it probably at 9. So I got kind of like what I'm leaning on is you don't think Schultz or Hagensmith at any point this season.
No. I mean, Hagen's not even pitching in AA, and then Schultz, I think they'll wait until next year to even make a decision on that. I mean, they might even want him to pitch at AAA. I mean, the one guy that might make a September call-up is Jacob Gonzalez, so that could push it to 10, but I'd find it tough for them to get over 10, at least of top 20 guys. All right, Robert looked fantastic. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. It was just great to see him go the other way and hit a home run. I think it's a big confidence boost when he's been talking this poorly about himself. To see one go over against McCullers, a guy that he was facing in the postseason in 2021, I think that at least would make him feel good. I think there's going to be offers on him. I think the biggest way that they get the most return is just by eating that money, and that's going to be the biggest question for Chris Getz is, do you want to eat all of that $15 million to just max out the return on Robert? Because that seems like what the route that they're going down on. I don't think that they're going to accept that $15 million option for next year, or the $20 million for next year and the $20 million after that. Like, I think they're just looking to get rid of him, and I think that this is a good sign that if they are going to get rid of him, maybe we could max out this value for Robert. We do have one diehard question from our guy Nilpak saying, what are the benefits to having Kilo up, Teal and Caro up and splitting time of catcher? I think the biggest thing is right now McKinven can work with the two at the same time at progressing their major league talent. Pop time, framing, all of that in the same room, and get those two working and bouncing off of each other. I think the biggest frustration with both of them will be balancing, Caro's probably pissed off right now that he was up here doing a decent job, and then Teal's coming up and has caught 3 of the first 4 games. The biggest issue that they're going to have is just balancing this. You have 2 star prospect catchers, which is great because it's a position of need for most teams, but like I don't think they're showing much favorability to Caro right now in what they're doing. So it's a lot to handle, but I think the real reason why they're doing it is because they can teach them both what they want to be taught to their catchers in the same room at the same time, at the same level. And I think there is a lot of trust in Will Venable and his crew right now in what he has done. Quick minor league update. George Wilco has been fantastic so far in June. In his first 6 games, he had an average over 391, walked several times, and then today he hits a home run as well to just cap it off. He has been absolutely phenomenal. 2 for 4 today with a walk, 3 runs scored for Wilco. He seems to be lighting it up in Kannapolis, which is great to see. Then in Winston-Salem, they score 4 runs. How do they do it? A leadoff homer from Sam Antonacci, a follow-up homer from Gerald Perez, and then Braden Montgomery hits another one. So back-to-back from 1, 2, 3 for the Winston-Salem Dash. Great start by that team. And then I just want to check, too. Johnson is a right-handed pitcher. That's a left-handed homer for Braden Montgomery. We recently talked to Ian Eskridge about maybe his hips flying out a little bit, so good to see a left-handed homer from our guy, Braden Montgomery. And then Colson did not play today. He was recently hit on the knee, I believe, with a pitch, but he has been very good since his 16 since his call down to Arizona in his past 16 games, 276 average, 382 on base, 586 slugging, a 968 OPS, 4 homers, 7 walks. He has been, really phenomenal. I think that he is the next one to be called up, and I think the domino to fall needs to be Lenyn Sosa. What are they doing with Lenyn? Because that is a guy that's taking up spots at second base. You also have Rojas as well. So do they want to keep Rojas? Do they want to keep Sosa? I think you have to see what they feel about Sosa once he comes back and is activated off the 10-day IL, because if they're ready to ditch Sosa, or maybe they want to keep Sosa, then do they just get rid of Rojas, who's playing second base right now? Lenyn could be a bench bat, and then Montgomery can be called up, and you put him at shortstop, Mydroth over at second, Vargas at third. I know that some people have thought, maybe Colson at first or left field, but it just seems like too early for that type of project. I think Mydroth would feel comfortable playing second base, and maybe you just try out Montgomery at the major league level, and your worst case scenario is you put Mydroth back at shortstop, because Mydroth has been good at shortstop.
Well, I was going to ask you also, do you think the fact that Sosa got an audition at first base is maybe them trying to see down the road a little bit as they have to make these decisions? And I know,
well, it's them seeing,
can he play something to maybe keep him on the roster, or do we have a tough decision coming up, as you mentioned, between Rojas and Sosa if they do bring up Colson, move Chase over to second base and so on?
I don't think it's that tough. I mean, again, if we're going for best players, Rojas is a journeyman, and Lenyn Sosa is like a fan favorite, but is he actually good? Probably not. I'd rather see Colson.
It's almost like, hey, we're giving you this opportunity. Can you maybe give us a little something over here to give us some sort of flexibility, versatility? It helps us figure out this.
But they tried it last year too. They're just trying to delay the inevitable of just not cutting Lenyn Sosa. We got to wrap. Thank you to Joey Christopoulos, my producer. Thank you to you, the viewer, for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already, and make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We will be back on Thursday with a CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Sox win 4-2. We'll be back on Thursday. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.